Everybody, we are covering the Kid Cudi footage or testimony. He's on the stand right now. They just came back from a short break. He arrived this morning in New York to take the stand, and so far he's only been on the stand for about an hour, and now Diddy's team has just started questioning him, and mainly they're talking about obviously when his car was blown up by P Diddy. So let's get into this here. We're really just going to be looking at a few sources, which is really Inner City Press and then CNN. They are there in the courthouse. If you're here in the chat, please say hello. So since no one's watching, I'm going to go ahead and just start all the way from the beginning. And then when people enter the chat, will actually hopefully be right where they are. So okay, so the attorney's office, which is the government, basically the United States of America, they called Kid Cudi to the stand. He arrived in a leather jacket and looking very cool, um, white shirt, blue jeans, and they asked him what he did for work. And he said he's an actor and a musician known as Kid Cudi. I don't know what he acts in, but let me know if you've seen anything he's acted in. I love his music. Um, and they showed him a picture of Cassie. He identifies her, and then he tells the court that they used to date, and they dated in 2011. And so this is something that it has come up in the trial already that she was dating Kid Cudi on a break from Combs. So when she dated Kid Cudi, her and Sean Combs were, like I just said, on a break. So the prosecution asks Kid Cudi, "What did you know about their status?" And Kid Cudi says that her and Sean Combs had some problems and they weren't dating anymore. And okay, so oh man, okay. I guess I have to click on this thread. Okay. So in 2011, did law enforcement respond to your home? So in December 2011 is when his Porsche was blown up. So Kid Cudi says, yes, I had a break in. Cassie called me at 5:30 or 6 in the morning, and she said Sean Combs had found out about us. And she asked me to pick her up, so I did. The prosecution says, "Why?" And then Kid Cudi says she was worried. So, the prosecution then says, "What was her demeanor?" And Kid Cudi says, "Very stressed and worried." Hey, what's up, guys? If you're watching, Kid Cudi is on the stand in New York right now, testifying against Diddy. He just testified about how he found his house broken into. He tried to confront Diddy. Um, Diddy never admitted to this arson, but that's where we're at right now on the stand. So the latest tweet was right here, 6 minutes ago. So right now, Diddy's team is cross-examining Kid Cudi, and so they're going to go further into what happened to his Porsche. So they're asking him, "I want to ask you, or did you see?" And they had actually just came back from a break, so we're just kind of jumping in here after their break. But this is the most recent place that they're at right now. So let me just get to the tweet. Um, I hope you guys are having a good day. Please say what's up in the chat so I will put it on the screen. This is happening right now. It's really crazy. This is who I've been waiting to see on the stand. So did you see Sean Combs later? A few years later, so this is after they're asking him The prosecution is asking Kid Cudi when was the next time he would see Sean Combs after the arson of his Porsche. And Kid Cudi says, a few years later, also at Soho House, he said, I'm just sorry for all that BS. I was surprised, so I found peace with it. Kid Cudi must be a very peaceful person. And I think you can tell from his music he is, because he didn't press charges. He let it go. He kind of walked away. Him and Cassie broke up after this happened. I mean, who wouldn't break up with someone that had a crazy ex like that? So, he was very just kind of like let it slide. I mean, it takes a really peaceful person to get your car blown up to pieces, a Porsche, and then you just like, well, just, whatever, let's just keep it moving. So the prosecution says no further questions at this time. And so that's when Diddy's a lawyer steps back in. So I want to ask you some questions about your Porsche in 2022. Okay. And Kid Cudi says 2012. Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. This happened in 2011. Um, so Diddy's lawyer says, I apologize. You get a call about damage to your vehicle. Any surveillance photos? Kid Cudi, no, my dog's babysitter did send me pictures of the damage. um, okay, so the DNA that that are taken, are you aware it came back being a female? Oh, interesting. So, I mean, that's not out of the question if they're doing DNA testing. Let me figure out where I'm at though. Okay, let's just go a little bit from the top. That is the most recent tweet. I don't think that there are actually any new tweets right now from Inner City Press. Sometimes they do take like breaks, and this guy that's tweeting, um, he's doing the best he can, right? But sometimes you have to wait a minute for him to tweet again about what's happening. So that's interesting. Miss Ventura told you it was over. So this is after Sean finds out. Even though Cassie and Sean were on a break, Combs is still super jealous and possessive, seemingly. That's what it looks like to me, obviously, right? And so they broke up. Kid Cudi and Cassie broke up. So um, Diddy's lawyer says, Miss Ventura, so Cassie tells Kid Cudi it's over. And oh, he asks Kid Cudi, and Kid Cudi says, "We just stopped talking." So, lawyers, Diddy's lawyer, Steele, his name is Brian Steele. You told this honorable court and this jury that she played you. What the hell? I'm surprised a lawyer would say that. Kid Cudi, yes. Brian Steele, she played you and you had no clue. Kid Cudi, no clue. I mean, love is blind, guys. Like, he probably had a clue, but he didn't want to get a clue. um, so that was the most recent tweet, but oh, here's a new one right here. So, Brian Steele, Diddy's lawyer, says, in 2011, you went on tour. Kid Cudi says, yes. Brian Steele says, 65 locations. Kid Cudi says, yeah. Brian Steele, at the time, Sean Combs is an icon, fair to say? Kid Cudi says, yes. Brian Steele says, you and Miss Ventura had a sexual relationship? Oh, prosecution says, objection. Wow. Okay. You're dating. Yes. I mean, that includes S relationships, right? So, but the fact that we'll see if the judge will allow this question to be answered. I mean, obviously they had an a relationship, an sexual relationship. I can't say it. I already said it, but I'm not supposed to say that, I guess, on YouTube. So we'll see if the judge, and then they go to sidebar. So now the sidebar, they're kind of going to talk privately with the judge to see if the judge is going to allow this question to be answered. So here we are at a cliffhanger. Okay. So here we go. After sidebar, Kid Cudi, Mr. Still, can I? So Kid Cudi's asking Diddy's lawyer a question, and then the judge says, no, you can do that on redirect. And then Diddy's lawyer asked Kid Cudi, like, do you want to tell me something? Let's see what he says. Kid Cudi, Sean Combs asked me about doing a song with Miss Ventura in 2010. So that's before they were dating. So I wonder why he wants that to be known or on the record. And Brian still says, thank you. Let me see. So there's a bunch of reactions. Enough with the sidebar. They keep doing these like private conversations to the side with both judges. I mean, both sides of the, the prosecution and the defense and the judge. They're doing these like little private mini conferences to figure out like what can be talked about. They do this, but I guess they've been doing this a lot during this trial. So we just are at the mercy of the people that are here in the court right now. Inner City Press is one of the most widely known people at the trial right now. He's generally at most of these high profile trials, kind of giving his live tweeting for us and keeping us up to date. So no new tweets, but we can actually see if CNN has, let me see, CNN actually, okay. So CNN is really just like summarizing rather than like straight tweeting what's happening. And their last information was just that Kid Cudi just stopped talking with Ventura after relationship ended. They just stopped talking. I mean, that's the most probably non-toxic way to break up, right? Don't contact your ex, like stay out of touch with them. Oh my God, what's up? My girl Jamie is in the chat. Kid Cudi is on the stand right now, testifying for Cassie and about how when P. Diddy blew up his Porsche. So I really wanted to live stream this. I guess they just started cross-examining him on P. Diddy's side, on the defense side. But it's kind of weird that P. Diddy never got charged for blowing up Kid Cudi's car. Like, no charges were ever brought against him. Like, he never even dealt with it. And it's kind of like common knowledge. It's like public knowledge that he did that. That happened in 2011. It's just really crazy. It just really speaks to like, the kind of the power that someone has to commit crimes and just have them be swept under the rug, So, what he's being charged for, the RICO charge, they're saying that you only need 2 counts of like there's 8 infractions and you only need 2 to actually be convicted. So let me see. And that's the overall, case against P. Diddy. Let me see if I can find him right here. What are the 2? I'm going to share my screen with you guys right now, but let me see if I can ask ChatGPT. What are the 8 infractions? What are the 8 infractions that only 2 need to be proven to result in a guilty verdict of a RICO charge. Let me see if ChatGPT will answer this. Okay, common predicated crimes. I mean, I saw another lawyer like have like this chart where it showed like they were more simplified, and it said that there was only two that needed to be proven. Arson is basically being proven right now. Kidnapping also, because he held Cassie against her will. He held a lot of people against her will, it sounds like. And and bribery. Bribery, because he did offer to pay the hotel or the security guard from the Intercontinental Hotel that actually leaked the footage of him beating Cassie in the hotel hallway. So, I mean, RICO just sounds like such a big like enterprise, that includes multiple people in unison and working together. But someone also pointed out, for that definition, P. Diddy is the only one being charged with RICO. So how could it even be RICO? And I'm not defending P. Diddy at all, but I'm just surprised this is the charge. This is the overall theme of what he's being charged with, is RICO is like the biggest charge for him. And it just, I don't know, I don't understand why they would choose that, because he's only one person. And RICO is more of um an organization, a criminal organization. And everyone else that's involved here, they've all been victims. They weren't like they weren't in colluding with him. They were just like collateral damage and victims. So I don't know. It's like they're hitting him hard with this, like instead of like just charging him with kidnapping, just charging him with arson. I think they're really, I don't know. This is a weird one. I don't know. If someone can explain that to me, let me know. I mean, that's just my opinion. Rico, like I said, seems like a group of people, and right now it's just Diddy. It's just Diddy that's like paying people for his stupid fetishes, like his evil fetishes. Okay. Let's see if Intercity Press has said anything new. This is 9 minutes ago. Oh, we got a new tweet. This is 1 minute ago. I just seen it. Okay. 4 minutes ago now. Okay. Oh, 2 minutes. Okay. Right here. So Diddy's lawyer, Brian Still, you believe they left your front door unlocked. Okay, so this is when Kid Cudi came back to his house, and his house had been broken into at the same day that his car was blown up. Kid Cudi. So Diddy's lawyer asks Kid Cudi, you believe they left your front door unlocked? Kid Cudi says yes. Brian Still, Diddy's lawyer, says no forced entry. Kid Cudi says no. Brian Still, just presence opened, door in the bathroom. I'm not belittling, just asking. You called Sean Combs? Because Cassie had already called him in the morning, kind of not warning him, like he didn't know this was going to happen, but she told Kid Cudi that morning Sean Combs found out about them dating, and then this happens. So Kid Cudi calls Sean because he's like, who else could have done this today? Like, it's very coincidental. And it was like right around the holidays. So apparently there was presents that they opened. So Kid Cudi says, yeah, I called him. And Diddy's lawyer says, was he calm? And Kid Cudi says, yes. So Brian's lawyer, I mean, Diddy's lawyer, I keep calling him, his name's Brian still. You went to see him, you didn't think he had a gun? Kid Cudi says, I couldn't call it. Damn, so Kid Cudi was like down. He was down for the shits. He was down. He was like, let's go, man. Like, you freaking broke in my house. I definitely feel some type of way. I would definitely not meet Diddy alone. Meet P. Diddy alone though. Like that takes some balls. So Brian Still, you are a strong person. Oh, see, that's how you categorize yourself. Kid Cudi says, yeah, this crossed the line. Oh shit. Brian Still, Miss Ventura told you she was abused. Kid Cudi says, yes. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. Let's see if CNN has any updates. Okay, so Kid Cudi says Cassie first spoke to him about relationship with Combs in 2010. During cross-examination, Kid Cudi said, we wanted to clarify that he believes Sean Combs asked him to do a song. Yeah, so he had added that to the record. Kid Cudi had just told that voluntarily for some reason. He believes Sean Combs asked him to do a song with Cassie Ventura in 2010 rather than 2011. So yeah, that would be a year before they dated. The first time Ventura spoke to him about her relationship with Combs was around Thanksgiving of 2010. That's when she was telling me she was having problems. Kid Cudi testified earlier today that he met Ventura around 2008 and dated her around 2011. Oh, there's one new update. Kid Cudi confirms there was no damage to his home after apparent break-in. Kid Cudi testifying about the 2011 incident in which he said Sean Diddy Combs told him he was inside his house, confirmed there was no damage to his house after the apparent break-in. I don't see where Sean admitted that he was inside his house. I have to go back in the tweets because I didn't read that part before. I thought that Sean just was like, hey, what's up? Because Kid Cudi did call him and talk to Sean on the phone. This is when they were going to go meet up. But that conversation sounded like, hey, what's up? And Combs was like, what's up? And then Kid Cudi was like, we need to meet. And Combs was like, all right, let's meet. But I never read anywhere where Sean was like, yeah, I broke in. I never read anywhere that he admitted that. He said Combs didn't threaten him when they spoke that day. Ventura confided in him about physical abuse by Combs. Kid Cudi testifies. Kid Cudi confirmed that Cassie Ventura had told him there was physical abuse in her relationship with Sean Diddy Combs, but she hadn't told him about any sexual abuse. He said Combs never interrupted the time he spent with her. So during the time Cassie and Kid Cudi are together, supposedly her and Sean Combs are on a break. So that would make sense that Combs is not like blowing up her phone during that time because they were not together at that time. Okay, let's see if Inner City Press has said anything new. I see my big cup of coffee. Okay, 9 seconds ago. So Brian Steele, Diddy's lawyer. In the 13 years since, have you ever been notified in California that there has been any more action on this car fire? See, why weren't charges brought about this arson? Kid Cudi says no. Diddy's lawyer says, did Cassie have multiple phones? Kid Cudi says, I don't remember. Brian still says 35-12. So I guess he was gonna, remind Kid Cudi of previous testimony where I'm sure they got him to make a statement at some point. Kid Cudi says, "If I said it, I said it." So he's like, "Yeah, I mean, he doesn't know how many phones she has, and he's not like keeping track or storing that in his memory bank. Like, oh, a lot of people have a few phones, right, Jamie? I have a couple phones. I have this one and I have this one. A lot of people have a few phones uh, for different reasons. Let's see if there's any. Okay, 2 seconds ago. Oh, Brian Still. Do you know what a burner phone is? Kid Cudi, untraceable. I don't know if that's what a burner phone is. It's just like an alternate phone, but yeah, it is definitely could be untraceable. That's just my 2 cents. That's not written here at all. Um, so Diddy's lawyer, the trespass. You call it a break-in. Yeah, it was a break-in. Like, what the hell? This is Diddy's lawyer, like trying to diminish what actually happened. Cassie told you she'd given your home address to Mr. Combs. Cassie did that? Oh, wow. Kid Cudi says yes in the morning. So she called him in the morning and told Kid Cudi, she was just like, hey, Diddy knows about us. I don't remember Kid Cudi saying, and she said, he knows where you live. Our friends have multiple phones. I'm just kidding. Okay, so that's a little inside joke between me and Jamie. Okay, so Kid Cudi, yes in the morning. So Diddy's lawyer, no more questions. Thanks. Okay, Kitty says, no problem. So Diddy's lawyer has just ended their questions to Kid Cudi. We will see if they will do one final recross is what it's called. That means it'll go back to the prosecution and they will ask their own questions, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm pretty sure it will. Like, they're not going to just, they're probably going to clarify. I would really follow up with calling Kid Cudi's house being broken into trespassing. That's more than trespassing. That is breaking and entering. Trespass sounds like something you do to you accidentally walk in someone's yard or something. That's not what this was. This was a full-on break-in. So if I was the prosecution, I probably would kind of reiterate to the jury, like, this was not trespassing. Okay, so that's where we're at, guys. You know, Kid Cudi, basically, he didn't really say anything that people didn't already know, other than, to me, Cassie actually giving P. Diddy Kid Cudi's address, home address. I mean, why she would do that? Obviously, she probably was gonna get her ass kicked if she didn't. But man, she actually gave P. Diddy Kid Cudi's address. That's crazy. I mean, but that actually just shows that it really proves that P. Diddy did that. He's the only person that was the motive that day, and it all happened that day. So CNN's new update: Kid Cudi testifies he was bothered by how Combs treated Ventura, and P. Diddy's lawyer, Brian Still, asks Kid Cudi if Sean Combs' treatment of Cassie Ventura bothered him because he was in love with her. Kid Cudi responded, yes. Aww. Steele also suggested to Kid Cudi that during his meeting with Combs, Kid Cudi's understanding was that he and Combs were in the same position, having been played by Ventura, who was living a double life. Hmm. Yeah, I don't think Cassie played Combs, Sean Combs. You know, she was like, I'm sure, like very lost. Combs was like her livelihood, and she probably was attempting to kind of exit. But when you're with someone and it's that toxic for so many years, I'm just, and this guy is very powerful. And Sean didn't make it very easy for her to just end it. So I don't think she was intentionally living a double life. It just sounds like she was just having a hard time kind of recovering from everything emotionally. Like women are very emotional. So they're going to do all of their actions based on their feelings. And I mean, I'm not in her shoes. I don't know what she was feeling, but I bet you she was processing a lot. And Kid Cudi probably was like that shoulder she needed to cry on. But once a man like catches on that you have a toxic ex, a lot of times they're not there for it. They're just like, yeah, this is way too much. I'm out. So the person who played you and the person who played Sean was Miss Ventura, true? And Kid Cudi says true. Oh, why did he say that? I would have been like, damn, she must have broke his heart. She broke Kid Cudi's heart. Because I don't think Cassie played P. Diddy. And I don't even think she was his moneymaker. She was his like slave. She was his. There's so many opinions I've been seeing online how like they're just saying that she was never even really his like girlfriend. Um, I mean, she was though, but really all she was there for, it doesn't even sound like they were ever intimate just on their own. It was always in a group setting, and he just always used her to just fulfill his like little sick perv fantasies. So he just used her the entire time for his own, gratification. It wasn't like emotionally, he wasn't emotionally supportive. And again, like I just said, women are so emotional. So that's a huge chunk to not have in a relationship. Like that would break a person. But a lot of times too, like I think people are in relationships and they're trying to, I think it's called some sort of, I have to find the word, but it's basically convincing yourself. You're making it make sense in your own mind. Like I think it's confirmation bias is what it's called. Like you're convincing yourself like this is love, like, you know, um I'm with him all the time, he takes care of me, in meaning financially, but is he taking care of you like inside, like emotionally? No, he's not. He's literally telling her, lather up, put your put baby oil on you and get in there and go screw those two guys so I can watch every night. Like that has to be like very heartbreaking. I mean, if that's the only thing you're there for. Okay, so 3 minutes ago, Cassie says Combs hit and kicked her. Kid Cudi testifies. So the prosecution is back up for a redirect examination. Okay, so yeah, prosecution is back. They're going to follow up with what the defense just asked asked Kid Cudi. So this is the last time they're going to question Kid Cudi before he gets off of the stand. This is basically his whole testimony. This is it. This is what I've been waiting for to see Kid Cudi. So, but they're only going to ask him a couple more questions than he's done. So, prosecutor Emily Johnson is back up for a redirect examination of Kid Cudi. Johnson asked what Cassie had told Kid Cudi about the physical abuse from Sean Combs, that he would hit her, sometimes kick her. Yeah, we saw that. We saw that on the hotel video. We all know that's true. Let's see what Inner City Press says. Okay. So the prosecution, why did your relationship with Miss Ventura end? Kid Cudi, the drama, it was getting out of hand. I wanted to give space. Yeah, like I said, when a guy sees that your ex is like on the shits, like they're not there for it. They're ghosts. So like, yeah, no, I'm good. Plus his car just got blown up. Prosecution. What drama? Please be specific here so we can like make sure the jury is very clear for the jury. Kid Cudi, the break-in. Exactly. It's a break-in. It's not a freaking trespass, like Diddy's lawyers try to say. For my safety, for her safety. Yeah, because honestly, it that wouldn't have like Combs wouldn't have let up if they were just like, oh, you know, we'll be strong, we'll be together, and he'll go away. No, Combs is not going away, and I think Kid Cudi knew that, so he just exited left. So Kid Cudi, the break-in for my safety, for her safety. Oh, so Combs' lawyer objects to that, and the judge is like, "Why?" Grounds, and Diddy's lawyer says speculation. That's not speculation. That is first-person testimony. He is telling, speculation is when someone can assume something that's happening over there. No, he was in it. He was one of the parties involved. So the judge overrules that. He's like, yeah, no, dude, you can't. That's going to stay on the record. So, prosecution, why did you have safety concerns? Tell us. What were the concerns here? Be specific. Kid Cudi, because I knew Sean Combs was violent. Diddy's lawyer. Your Honor, may we approach? So they're doing a little like private meeting sidebar. Diddy's lawyer wants to make some sort of complaint about what's being said here. But none of this is hearsay. None of this is speculation. These are first person testimonies. So Diddy's lawyer is just throwing a fit right here and trying to get something overruled. But we'll see what happens. I think the judge is starting to get like annoyed with Diddy's lawyers, honestly. Because he's starting to overrule a lot of their objections. Like, nope. Well, I hope you guys are having a great day. I really wanted to cover this today. Like, I am a huge Kid Cudi fan, and it's just so insane that Diddy was never charged for the arson. That happened in 2011. That was 14 years ago, and they're just talking about it now. And they both went on with their lives like nothing, like didn't even skip a beat. Like P. Diddy never answered to any of that. So, justice is finally coming around, but will it? Will it come around, honestly? What do you guys think? You guys think that this is enough for a RICO case? for a RICO conviction. Okay, I'm looking at these other like news sources to see if there's anybody else kind of doing live updates. We do have the Washington Post. So this is Kid Cudi. It's been raining in New York nonstop too, which I feel like is very fitting for what is happening. It's like a kind of a somber time for everyone, like recollecting all of this abuse at the hands of this crazy man. And so that's how Kid Cudi arrived to court today, looking extra cool in a black leather jacket. Okay, so there is an update here. Oh no, that's a 1 minute. Okay. Let's see what the Washington Post says. The defense is using Kid Cudi Muscuti's testimony to question the character of the prosecution's star witness, Cassie Ventura. Mm, yeah, but I don't see. Well, I guess the way they're using it to question on P. Diddy's side, question Cassie's um, character is the fact that she was a little bit of a not co-conspirator, but the fact that she gave P. Diddy Kid Cudi's address and he went and broke in, like she kind of, you know, helped Combs break and enter Kid Cudi's house. So I don't know if that's what this girl is talking about or alluding to. Let's, I guess, read the rest. The defense is using Kid Cudi's testimony to question the character of the prosecution's star witness, Cassie Ventura, whose fling with a rapper allegedly incited Sean Combs to break into his home and burn his car. On cross-examination by defense lawyer Brian Steele, Kid Cudi said that when he and Combs met to resolve their romantic dispute over Cassie, both men agreed she had misled them into believing she was unattached. P. Diddy doesn't have a defense there. Like, he treated her like crap. She could not break up with him if she wanted to. She tried. He wouldn't listen. So I don't think she was leading P. Diddy on in any way. Kid Cudi, she probably didn't want to reveal everything that she was going through. So, I mean, I can kind of understand. I mean, maybe because I'm a woman, I can kind of see she was in fear. And, you know, P. Diddy was, she had said that what she did for P. Diddy became a job. She was getting paid. That was her livelihood. And you're going to have to start over if, I just feel like it's a tricky situation. And I don't fault Cassie for what she went through. And I don't think she was trying to play Kid Cudi. That isn't what it seems like to me. But Kid Cudi feels that way because the lawyer, Diddy's lawyer, says the person who played you and the person who played Sean was Cassie, and Kid Cudi says true. It just sounds like he got his heart broken, but he was just like collateral damage. There was a bunch of victims throughout this time in P. Diddy's life. I mean, that's what P. Diddy's done. He's just left a trail of destruction and people that just get used and abused. And unfortunately, it took Cassie this long to kind of be able to separate herself from him. And now P. Diddy's being charged with everything that happened. It's all coming back, but let me see. Okay. So the Washington Post, Kid Cudi was almost comically casual in court. He's a rock star. He's a rap star. Everybody was talking about like what he was wearing because he came in a leather jacket and not in a suit. But the only thing he's there for is just to tell people about how P. Diddy blew up his car. Like, he's not trying to prove anything else or He's not getting anything out of being there. So I would definitely dress how I wanted to dress too. So the rapper known as Kid Cudi wore a black leather jacket, white shirt, and jeans. Most men have been wearing suits on the stand. Kid Cudi yawned a few times during his testimony and seemed to take pleasure in describing Combs as resembling a Marvel villain. Oh shit. This is Holly Weird at its finest. I mean, I'm talking about Combs. I'm talking about Sean being a crazy character, not Kid Cudi. I like Kid Cudi. When defense attorney Brian Still thanked Kid Cudi for his testimony, he replied, "Yep, no problem." And then he flicked his cigarette at him. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't do that. But he was like, "Yep, peace out. Fry. Go fry that guy. Fry Mr. Combs. I hope he stays in jail." But that's it right there. But yeah, the rain is very fitting. The weather is very fitting for the aura of this trial. Okay, let's see if Inner City Press has any new updates, but it looks like they're about to release Kid Cudi from the stand. His testimony has come to an end. I'm not sure. I'm surprised. I'm not really surprised by anything he said, honestly. Yeah, so he's done. Any recross? So Diddy's lawyer was like, no. So Diddy's lawyer didn't need to follow up with anything because everything that Combs is saying, it's not a good look for P. Diddy. So it's no surprise that Diddy's lawyer is like, yeah, no, we're good. We're done. You can release this witness. But yeah, guys. So that was Kid Cudi on the stand. Well, that was Diddy's half. I actually didn't get a chance to cover his very beginning, but you can read these tweets on Inner City Press. And I'm your girl, Angie Smalls. I hope you guys have a good day. Let me see if I can get on the screen. Hope you guys have a great day. I don't know who they're going to call up to the stand next, but I might jump back on here later. So please subscribe if you haven't. And let me know if you guys like this sort of content, and I will keep doing more of these. But subscribe to my channel, Angie Smalls, with a Z and two E's. And